here and taking time out. But a sincere thank you to the Reagan Foundation and Institute. Being at the Reagan Library is a special place. I think that President and Mrs. Reagan truly represent the best that our nation has to offer. I was born in 1980. My mom has always called me a Reagan baby, and I've lived with that, and it's truly an honor to be making my first visit here. But what they do also, I mean, right in the next, in a room adjacent to here, they have a whole bunch of high school students here doing a debate performance and debate competition. Libby Hancock from Salem Hills High School of Utah is actually performing right at the same time. We should have brought those kids up here to debate this bill as well. That would actually be pretty fun. So again, just thrilled to be here at this institution. Dr. Rao, yesterday in our hearing in Las Vegas, I highlighted something pretty unique, and it's context and data, and I know we don't like to, address that all the time, but more than half of the tax provisions in this bill, more than half, is going to two simple things: the child tax credit and the standard deduction, right? None of which are taken advantage of or can even be taken advantage of with the income caps that we put on it by the wealthy. That's not even to include all the other provisions that go directly towards middle class support. But those are individual provisions, and I wanted to just quickly ask you, there's business provisions in here too. I think some excellent commentary has been shared, but just talk to us a little bit about some of the business provisions, the pro-growth tax policies, and how those still go directly to impacting families.
Hey there, patriots. Welcome back to the Constitution Corner, where we defend liberty, fight for the truth, and call out the chaos coming from the left. If you believe in the Constitution, free markets, limited government, and good old American values, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you never miss a dose of unapologetic patriotism.
Thank you very much for the question, Congressman Moore. I think the qualified business income deduction for pass-through entities, which has been discussed a lot today, is one of the key features of the business provisions that helps a broad segment of the U.S. population. It was cited before, maybe this was Congressman Gomez or Congresswoman Chu, that the top 10% of taxpayers were allegedly benefiting more from the QBI. Well, it's worth looking at what the top 10% of taxpayers in America actually contribute to the economy in terms of the jobs that they create. Those are the reason that they're getting bigger deductions, because they're hiring more people, they're running bigger firms. And also how much taxes they actually pay. The top 10% on the latest data earned 49% of income, but they paid 72% of the federal income tax. We already have an extremely progressive system where the top end of the distribution is supporting, through a lot of redistribution, the bottom. We're starting from a setting where the top quintile, the top 20%, are paying $120,000 net per household net into the system, and the bottom quintile is receiving $30,000 net into the system. And this bill doesn't really change those numbers in any material way.
Thank you, and that actually dovetails with my colleague from Pennsylvania, Mr. Smucker, in highlighting that we're actually still becoming a more and more progressive tax system. That's irrefutable, and I appreciate your highlight of that. Mr. Fulton and Timmons, I'm home to my district's home to Hill Air Force Base, and adjacent or surrounding Hill Air Force Base, there's a very dynamic aerospace engineering and manufacturing industry. Just share quickly how tax permanency, right? A lot of these things were tried out. Hey, we tried them out for a little while, and there were some things that went on the chopping block too that are now going to be back in as permanent. Just talk to some of these business provisions and how they're going to provide support and help to your industry with the fact that they're permanently going to be in place now in code.
Yeah, thank you for that question. What we heard from our manufacturers after 2017 was they actually made a promise. They were going to invest more, hire more, raise wages in the United States, and they did exactly that. There were record numbers for the next 3 years in those areas. But as you know, many of those provisions were temporary, and so making the provisions permanent has allowed our companies to actually plan for the future. One of the things we heard earlier this year was we heard some uncertainty among our manufacturers, especially small manufacturers who are so critical to the supply chain, say, we're not sure if we want to invest in additional capacity here in the United States, because they didn't know if this bill would actually get done. As soon as it did, you started to see much more confidence, especially by these small businesses, that they were willing to make those investments to grow manufacturing capacity here in the United States.
And I'll just quickly end. Thank you, Mr. Spolten. I apologize. My time's up. Section 179, small businesses can now deduct a whole bunch more. That's going to create more business activity. They're going to be paying more taxes. We're going to continue to see revenue growth. Thank you, Chairman. I yield back.
Today's video is a reaction to a recent speech at the Reagan Library, and folks, there's a lot to unpack. This wasn't just some canned political moment. This was a clear, fact-driven defense of America's tax policy, of small business, and yes, of the American dream. Let's dive in. First off, can we just take a moment and appreciate how powerful it is to see conservatives speaking from the Reagan Library? Ronald Reagan, one of the greatest presidents in American history, led with strength, dignity, and a deep belief in the American people. And today, that same spirit lives on in the conservative movement. Congressman Moore, a self-declared Reagan baby, opened with genuine gratitude for the legacy of President Reagan and the values he stood for. Small government, strong defense, and individual liberty. That set the tone for what followed. A serious conversation about tax reform, not the usual political theater. And here's what really struck me. More than half of the provisions in the new tax bill are focused on the child tax credit and the standard deduction benefits that help working families. Not Wall Street. Not Hollywood. The middle class. And guess what? With income caps in place, the wealthy can't even benefit from those specific provisions. So the usual talking points from the radical left about tax cuts for the rich fall flat here. This is a pro-family, pro-worker, pro-growth plan. Now let's talk about the business side of things. We heard about the Qualified Business Income (QBI) deduction, a lifeline for small business owners and job creators. The left always loves to demonize the top 10% of earners, but here's the truth. They pay 72% of federal income taxes while earning 49% of the income. That's not greed, that's hard work and success being punished. And it needs to stop. This bill continues to reward job creation, particularly through the permanent establishment of key provisions like the Section 179 deduction, allowing small businesses to write off larger expenses and grow faster. We also heard some crucial points from industry reps, especially in aerospace and manufacturing. In places like Utah, where Hill Air Force Base is surrounded by engineering and manufacturing businesses, permanent tax provisions are giving them the confidence to invest, hire, and expand right here in America. This is exactly what we conservatives mean when we say, "Make America great again," not just slogans, but policies that allow families to thrive, businesses to grow, and America to lead. The radical left wants chaos. They want redistribution. They want big government controlling everything. But we want opportunity. We want fairness, not forced equality. And this bill? It moves us closer to that America we know and love. So what do you think? Is this bill a step in the right direction? Are we finally seeing a return to Reagan-style conservatism? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's have a real conversation, respectfully, but firmly rooted in truth. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the Constitution Corner, and hit that bell so you never miss an update. We're not backing down. We're taking our country back one truth bomb at a time. We are the Constitution Corner, where Americans' root guides its future. Until next time, stand strong, speak truth, and may God bless the United States of America.